Hello student of class 9. In this video I will discuss with you lesson 3 from Civics, the constitutional design. It is the second video of this lesson. In the previous video of this lesson, the topic constitutional design of South Africa was discussed. The second topic of this lesson is why do we need a constitution? If we want to know the answer of this topic, if we want to search the meaning of this topic, so we can take an example of South Africa which was discussed in the first video of this chapter. Student, you know very well that South Africa presents an example in front of us that in South Africa there were two ethnic groups. First, the white Europeans, and the second were the native South African blacks. Earlier, the blacks were governed by the white Europeans under the apartheid system. It was very discriminative system, but after the long protest by the Nelson Mandela, it was decided by the white Europeans that the white Europeans cannot keep the blacks under the repression. That is why now these two ethnic groups of South Africa decided that they will sit together and they will form some rules and they will decide together that according to that rule, the whites and blacks both will run the South Africa. And when they decided and when they showed their mutual trust to each other, then a new age of South Africa was formed. Actually, the apartheid system was over and the new democratic South Africa was emerged. And Nelson Mandela was the first president of this new South Africa. My dear student, you know very well, it was the time when in South Africa, the two ethnic groups were ready to show their respect to the basic rules through which they both were running together to govern the South Africa. Here, I want to tell you that not only South Africa, but every country in this world has different ethnic groups. That is why it is very essential that there should be basic rules, and the basic rules should be formed in such a manner that each and every group should show their respect to these basic rules. That is why we find the answer of this question, why do we need a constitution? Actually, my dear student, when the various people with various interest and opinion will show their respect, will show their loyalty towards the basic rule, then what will happen? The country will run with flow without any hindrance. That is why we need a constitution. That is why we need some basic rules under which the government will be formed, under which the people will get rights, and then what will happen? The country will run without any problem. So, after discussing this particular example of South Africa, we find the answer of this question, why do we need a constitution? First of all, here you may see, first of all I will discuss what is the constitution. After then I will discuss with you why there is a need and what is the importance of the constitution. My dear student, you may see, constitution is a set of written rules that are accepted by all people living together in a country. Means people, those who are living with various opinion and interest, they have to show their respect to these particular written rules. Then what will happen? Then they can live together in a country without any problem. And it is the power of the constitution. My dear student, here you may see also, it is a supreme law that determines the relationship between people and government. In democracy, power is given in the hand of people, and the people will elect the representative, and this representative will form the government. So these all things are written in the constitution, and it will be defined, and it is defined by the constitution. And after that, there should be not only good relationship between people and government, but there should be relationship between or among the people, those who are living in a country as a citizen of that particular country. That is why here we find that this is the importance, this is the need of the constitution, and this is the definition of the constitution. Now, after discussing about what is constitution, I am coming to the next point of this topic, need and importance of the constitution. First of all, the first importance and need of the constitution is it generates a degree of trust. Why there is a need of trust? Why? Because if in a country people of various groups, people of various opinion and interest are living, if they will show their trust on these written rules, then what will happen? There will be no problem to govern a country. And this is the importance and need of the constitution. Second point, it specifies how the government will be formed. No doubt, constitution also states the rules how the government will be formed and who will have power to take decision, and the constitution also states who will take decision for the country. The third point you may see, it states about the limits of the government and rights of the citizens. My dear student, it is very essential that the power is given to the government, but there should be limitation, and this particular limitation is defined by the constitution. And our constitution or the constitution of any country also states, especially in the democratic country, states the rights of the citizens, duty of the citizens. And the last importance is it expresses the aspiration about creating a good society. Constitution also states the values, the principles, the guides, how the people of that particular country can form the country of, can form the society of that particular country good, best and better. So these are the needs and importance of the constitution. Now, after discussing this topic of this chapter constitutional design from civics lesson 3, I will discuss and I will give a short intro of the next topic of this chapter, that is making of the Indian Constitution. Here I am coming to discuss with you about the formation of the, about the making of the Indian Constitution. Student, you know very well, when in the first video it was discussed with you the problems to form the constitution in South Africa. Likewise, or like the South Africa, there were many problems to form the constitution of India. What were the problem? There were so many problems. Like South Africa, India is also a country of diversity. people of various interest and opinion, various ethnic groups are living in India. And it is also very important to make them satisfied to live in a country, to live in our country, that is India. Why? Because each and every ethnic group has its own interest and opinion. It is very important that there should be some rule through which these all ethnic groups can live together without any problem. After that, you may see very well that India was under the administration of British rule near about 200 years. Earlier, the people of India were the subject of the British, but after the independence, they were the subjects of the, or they were the citizen of the, now they are the citizen of the India. There was a change from subject to citizen, means it was also very essential that after independence, it is very essential that how the citizen will able to accept India as the free nation that was India. After then, you may see very well there was another problem. Just after the independence in 1947, there was a partition of India. India was partitioned into dominion or into country, Pakistan and India. Near about 10 lakh people were killed during the partition of India and Pakistan. The people, those who were living in India, they went to Pakistan, and the people, those who were living in Pakistan, they came to India. There's a problem of citizenship. And you know very well, when the India and Pakistan, two countries were formed from the British India and from the independent India, there was another problem, and this problem was created by the Britishers. Actually, in India, earlier or during the British rule, there were two type of states. The state or the states which were directly governed by the Britishers, known as the British states of India, and the second type of states were known as the princely state, means the states which were governed by any Nawab or ruler or king. They were known as the princely states. What was the problem? The problem was that the Britishers formed some rules or law that it depends on the princely state if they want to be the part of Pakistan, they can be the part of Pakistan, and if they want to be the part of India, they can be the part of Indian Union, and if they want to rule themselves independently, they can rule themselves independently. So here you may see that these all were the problems, and that is why after independence there were three states. The first of all Jammu and Kashmir, the second Junagadh, and third Hyderabad. These three princely states, created problem to be the part of India. My dear student, these were the problems when India got dependence from the British rule. So, like the South Africa, there was various problem to form or to create the Constitution of India. I will discuss the making of the Constitution Indian Constitution in my next video related to chapter or lesson 3 constitutional design. But for this video, I think you understood these all points, and according to these discussion with you, I will give you two questions. Question number 1, what is a constitution? Why do we need a constitution? Here the answer is written in these lines which I have discussed to you. And the second point, explain the importance of constitution in a democracy. These are the importance of constitution in a democracy. I hope that you understood this video, and I hope you will write answer of these two questions in your note copy. Thank you very much.